What can we expect from the Skyblivion locations and how do they differ from locations in Oblivion, while sometimes looking into Skyrim for better understanding what secrets do they hide and how were it themed before and after. In this video we'll delve into all these details and discuss what to expect from the new locations based on developer video presentations. Subscribe to my channel for more unique and interesting content and enjoy watching. So let's start by recalling what was in the game Oblivion. Let's begin with the Ayleid ruins. Their extremely cold and magical atmosphere constantly kept us in expectations of some danger. There are no long boring corridors here, instead the layout of the Ayleid ruins strikes a balance with large halls and flooded chambers. As for the inhabitants, there are usually skeletons, zombies, vampires, necromancers and similar undead creatures. Sometimes we might encounter bandits who generally stay near the entrance and don't venture deep into the ruins. Regarding traps, there are the well-known large pressure plates, which are easy to step on, unnoticed, sending us back to the main menu for a reload. There are also interesting shaped axes similar to those found in Nordic ruins in Skyrim. I'm curious whether the developers of Skyblivion will introduce greater variety similar to Skyrim. In Dwemer and Nordic ruins, there are very many more obstacles. So, will the developers add more varied traps and challenging paths while staying true to the lore? Share your thoughts in the comments. As for the rewards after passing such dungeons in the Ayleid ruins, we could collect a lot of gold, soul gems, Ayleid stones, which also appear in Skyrim and fully restore our magic. The Warla stone, a rare and priceless Ayleid artifact that can fully recharge any number of enchanted items in a single use but disappears open use, and can also be sold for gold and is worth 1000 gold, which is useful early in the game. Additionally, there is the Ayleid statue who through purpose is unknown, but a wealthy collector from the imperial city Umbacano is interested in them. There are 10 statues in total and Umbacano will buy them for 500 septims each. Regarding secret places, there were hidden small pressure plates that could open the passage deeper into the Ayleid ruins and puzzles that could either lead us to various valleys or surround us with many enemies or open an additional path further. I'm also curious if there will be a similar locations mechanic that we sometimes encountered in Oblivion and constantly in Skyrim. Specifically, locations would work in such a way that when we enter them and reach the end fully clearing and collecting everything, they would bring us back to the entrance, exiting from another side that was initially closed or located much higher. Now let's take a look at the Ayleid ruins from the footage provided by the developers. I can say that they are going to be really big and much more detailed. Let's dive into the details. The realism and liveliness of this location cannot be ignored, thanks to the sunlight breaking through the broken ceiling, showing that many decades have passed allowing nature to reclaim the ruins. We also see the skeleton of an adventurer who was interested in these ruins, but the ruins weren't interested in him. It's also important to note the jars previously seen in Nordic ruins in Skyrim, which were absent in Oblivion but are well integrated into the Ayleid ruins here, and will likely be able to interact with them as well. We can also see Ayleid banners hanging in their west halls and a variety of interesting and unique statues such as Pegasus and others. The corridors have also changed. They no longer have the repetitive narrow passages they once did but now exhibit power that highlights the might of the now extinct Ayleids. Additionally, the Ayleid ruins are now partially covered with sand or snow depending on their location in Cyrodiil, emphasizing the diversity of the location in increasing our desire to explore them. As for the inhabitants, we know that there will be bandits, goblins, trolls, spirits, skeletons and new unique creatures, actual Ayleids who were not in Oblivion as far as I remember, except for the Leech, who is now more than just a ghost, and crops covered in crystals. Regarding traps, it is still unknown what they will be like, but I think the developers have also worked on them. For instance, those large pressure plates might be covered with sand or snow, making them harder to spot until activated. Honestly, I can't find enough words to describe my pleasure about what the Skyblivion developers are preparing for us. Now let's quickly discuss forts, mines and caves, cause there aren't as many points to cover here, but they are still worth mentioning. Yes, it's logical that caves have more corridors than Ayleid ruins, but they also have hidden passages leading deeper into the caves and mines, often in the form of a trapdoor going downwards, though these aren't very common. As for the creatures that inhabit them, you'll find rats, goblins, vampires and something like that. Forts on the other hand aren't too different from caves, as many of them have been long abandoned, likely after the Great War, causing some parts of Cyrodiil's forts to merge with caves. Even though caves might have traps like locked tripwires and similar traps that by goblins or bandits, fort features more ephemeral traps, especially for those who played Skyrim, like potion darts that shoot from the walls when triggered by a mechanism such as a tripwire or pressure plate. It's also worth noting that despite the occasional appearance of cave tunnels in forts, you can still encounter man-made dungeons built for burial purpose, which by the way are often inhabited by vampires. By the way, regarding caves, I want to quickly share a very interesting secret I recently noticed. The cave called Greenmeat, located northeast of Skingred, seems like just an ordinary hole in the ground, like dozens of others scattered across the landscape of Cyrodiil. However, behind the pile of skeletons in the most terrifying enemy in the game, a horrifying and fearsome giant crab. Perhaps it seeks revenge for the many of its relatives you have attacked, and you might also encounter a similar crab in Skyrim, though it's already been slain by someone. Now, regarding forts, mines and caves in Skyblivion, I can definitely say that they will not be small corridor-like caves, but rather large locations where you can stop and take a detailed look. Even in this cave, from the video footage we see now, the external light source from the large hole gives the impression that you can just walk out and explore the landscapes of Cyrodiil. Developers need to surprise us with something, because if the caves are small, it won't be very attractive. Also, regarding the variety of paths in locations which I mentioned earlier when talking about Ayleid ruins, we can see that there is in something similar here, and we can expect such features, which is very cool in my opinion. Here we see how a mechanism that opens a passage doesn't work, so we go to find what we need. Discover a secret passage, run to the altar, take an artifact in the form of a sword, which opens the way deeper into the cave. Later we use this sword to pass on, which is awesome, although we might be able to keep the sword. We saw something similar in Skyrim with the Red Eagle's Fury sword. In the caves we can also notice more wildlife similar to Skyrim and some ruins, although something similar was in Oblivion in the caves on the forts. Regarding traps, there will be spears coming out of the walls similar to what we saw in Skyrim. The forts have the same ruins as in Oblivion, but in Skyblivion that hint at some kind of live with details like bags, crates, wine barrels and tables, because in the original they look like nobody had ever been there even before the ruins. Now they somewhat remind us of those we saw in Skyrim. As for traps, the well-known spike grids from Skyrim have been added, but in Skyblivion they are now double-sided, making it almost impossible to escape and survive. Thanks for watching this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm really interested in hearing your opinion. Also, please like and subscribe to my channel to support my work. I'm Ann. See you in the next videos, and right. Bye.